Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome into this week's edition of Bull Ring Breakdown. I thank everybody that listened to the race recap part on a couple days ago on Monday. Wednesday night driver interview, and that's sponsored by DNL Disposal. Your first call for your waste management needs. Offer residential garbage route in Jasper, Troopsburg, Woodhall, Addison, and the surrounding areas. Aside from that, they also offer dump trailer service rentals for your bigger needs. They'll drop it off at your location. All you have to do is load it up, and they'll come and take it away. Give them a call at 607-382-7609 to get started with DNL Disposal, the premier residential waste management service in the Woodhall area. And this week, I'm pleased to be joined by hometown excavation crate sportsman driver Quintin Buchanan. Quintin, how are we doing today?
Oh, we're doing great. We're here in the shop and getting work done. So I figured I'd stop and talk to you for a bit.
Well, I got to ask, you said you're in your shop. Do you just spend
Yep.
all day, every day in your shop, or?
So yeah, it's getting pretty close that way. Usually I spend Tuesdays with the Mondays or Tuesdays with the girlfriend, but with having two or three cars going, man, I'm in here every day. Just about every day. And the days I can take off, it's really nice. But we actually just put up a new shop, so we're just getting moved in and trying to get situated in here. It's been crazy.
Well, you'll still be looking for tools all over no matter what.
Oh, yeah, that's the hard part. We've been in and out of the trailer trying to get tools and figure out where everything is. We actually have another 24-foot enclosed trailer that sits out back here that's full of all the shop tools that we had when we tore down the shop. So we just haven't had enough time to get back out there and get everything in the shop and organized yet.
Right. And do all three of you guys work out of the same shop?
Yeah,
Your brother, your sister?
yeah. So for a while, so last October when we started tearing down our shop, we actually split cars up. So we took my brother's car up to my uncle Scott's house, Scott Brown's,
Hmm.
and that was in I don't know where is it? Tawanda or not Tawanda? Tioga. Sorry. And my car was at our buddy Dan Butts' house, and my sister's car come in December. We end up taking my car out of the shop, put it in the trailer for a couple months, put her car in the shop to surprise her with it, and build it up and do whatever we had to do with it. So yeah, we were car hopping all winter long. It's been crazy.
Now,
That's been the hard thing.
do you have two cars for you, or are you just a one car man?
I'm just a one car man. So Fridays and Saturdays, I'm switching shocks, switching gears, taking the spoiler back off, trying to dial in the car for Woodhall to Outlaw every week. So it's been crazy. Those 2 days are normally pretty crazy and hectic. Usually we're up at 8, 9 in the morning, 10 in the morning, washing cars, stripping them down, getting it ready to go for Saturday night. So yeah, it's crazy.
So you get home from Outlaw, wash it, fix everything up, change everything over, then come to Woodhall on Saturday.
Yep, with the same car.
Boy,
Yep, and
I don't
what
know how you do it. I know there's a few of you that do, well, actually, you might be the only one that does, but I know Tim does, but Tim's got a couple different cars, so.
Yeah, I know he's got a car or two sitting in his compound. But yeah, for as of right now, I just got my one car. I think here in the near future, this year, I really wanted to get another car together to do this two-track thing and try to get my experience up and build myself up. But with doing the whole garage, I didn't have any extra space to put up a new car. And the thing is, I thought when we built the garage, it'd be a little bit bigger than what it was, that we could host a fourth car. But there's no way we're getting another car in this shop. So. Yeah, as of right now, just three cars, just my car, my brother's car, and my sister's car. So I only got the one.
Right. And I guess for those that don't know, Quentin's brother Braden, he races weekly pretty much at Woodhall, and his sister McKenna races weekly at Outlaw. Um, so does everybody just kind of work on their own thing? Or how do you guys go
Um,
about that? Help each other out when you need it, or?
yeah, so typically how it's been going is usually my dad, usually he takes care of the tires for all of us. So he'll, after wash day or whatever, we'll wash our cars down, take all the body off, and he gets all the tires. So he'll have my eight from Outlaw, my eight from Woodhall. So right there, 16. He'll have my brother's eight from Woodhall, then typically my sister's eight from Outlaw. So he'll have 32 tires to wash and grind up and prep. And that's just if we're not switching rubber over and putting fresh rubber on tires and grinding and siping new rubber. It's a lot. I mean, that alone, he's out in the driveway doing that. I bet you 20 hours a week just doing tire prep.
Yeah, I can't imagine the operation you guys go. Good thing that he's not racing anymore.
Yeah. It's been nice now that he stepped out of the seat. I don't know, I've tried to get him drive my car, drive Braden's car, but he doesn't want to do it anymore. He said, "Oh, I like watching you guys have your guys' fun and your guys' time doing it." So I think he had his fun, his time's over, and he just likes helping out and just keeping us moving.
Right. Now do you enjoy working with your brother and your sister doing that, or because I know my relationship with my brother, sometimes I think I'd be about ready to throw a wrench at him if I'm working in the shop with him.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes I don't know. I'm pretty particular about my car and how the cars are put together and everything. And Braden has his ways, and McKenna has her ways, and we all do kind of a little bit different routines every week, but we're all kind of the same. But typically, Braden will take care of his car. He'll wash it, not bolt it, do any fixing if he needs to do any fixing. Same thing with McKenna. And then usually when we scale, usually I'll step in and kind of help them out and guide them in the right direction. I don't know, going over this whole coil stuff the past couple of years, it's just been a lot different to understand and really grasp. The old man, he was just on the bar stuff. I know it goes hand in hand a little bit with the setups, but they're a lot different. So I've been trying to get a lot of notes off of, Jeffrey Doherty. That he helps me out quite a bit. So I don't know. Usually I take over and help them scale the cars, and other than that, it's all them. So whatever their cars do, you know what I mean? Or if something breaks or something malfunctions, usually at the track, it's fend for yourself because we're all trying to do the same thing. I got my car, he has his car, she has her car, so I don't know. But usually the old man's always there to give that helping hand out to, I don't know, if we ever need some. So like I don't know, a couple of weeks ago, I had a tranny blow on me after the outlaw. I won my heat, pulled on the scales, and the tranny crapped the bed on me. So we were in the pits. The old man crawled right under there, started pulling the tranny out while I was in the cockpit on bolting everything. So yeah, when it comes time to nitty and gritty, usually we're all there to help each other. But for the most part, usually we all take over our own cars.
Right. Well, that must make it at least a little bit better, and at least you'll never have problems changing a tire if you get a flat.
Well, that's funny. A couple years ago, the old man was my old man and his brother Jay. My old man was jacking me up, and we were on that hill at Outlaw. While I let off that brake, and the way I went off the jack, the tire was off the car. So yeah, it's happened. So
Right. Now do you make the so your siblings only run one track a week, so do you make them play pit crew member on that their night off? So does
yeah,
Braden go
yeah.
to Outlaw and McKenna come to Woodhall?
Yeah, typically Braden's there every Friday night. Usually he doesn't miss it. And the thing is he's always asking me questions. He's always trying to give me help. He's always before I'm even ready to do something. He's like, "All right, what are we gonna do next? What's next? Do you want me to do this?" He's you know what I mean. They're always really ambitious to get to it. And McKenna usually at Woodhall, she's kind of there. She helps out a little bit as much as she can, but she's just getting in, just getting her feet wet with everything. So she doesn't really know too much what's going on with the race cars.
Right. Yeah, that's kind of your job. You got to take
Yeah.
care of everything. So,
Yeah, that's been kind of we've been trying to put her under our wing and do what we can, but after I don't know, a couple weeks ago over at Outlaw, she had a pretty bad wreck and she tore up her chassis. So as of right now, she's probably going to be done for the year. But I don't know if we can get another chassis in here and get it built up, we'll have her on the track in the next couple weeks. But I don't know, everything's getting so expensive. It's pretty hard just to be able to turn around and buy a new chassis and get her going again.
right. Are you is that a new car this year or is that the same car from last year?
So yeah, that the car that I have, yeah, that's the same car that I had last year. Last year I ended up going up to Jerry Higbee's and bought a 2024 Hig Fab. So we've been running that this year, and I said something to him, mentioned probably getting a new 2026 for next year.
Oh, good deal.
Yeah, so that's kind of like I don't know the whole idea. Maybe I can keep this car kind of as is for like Woodhall or something like that, and build up a new car for Outlaw. I don't know, Outlaw's an animal in itself, but Woodhall is so much fun. It's so hard to get away from Woodhall. It's so much fun to drive that track, and it's so hard. Them guys over there, they are really good at what they do.
I was gonna ask you which one do you like better?
I personally I love driving Woodhall. I love driving Woodhall. I think it's such a fun track. You're on and off the gas. Either you're going up or you're going down. You're trying to find a hole to get under somebody else, and you're tight quarters. You know what I mean? You're rubbing rails a little bit. It's a lot of fun. I love Woodhall.
Right. So I want to ask you about Outlaw on Thursday night.
Yeah, yeah. I think I ran out of talent there. I don't know what happened. So in hot laps, I told the old man I went to go get on the brakes coming off the track, and the pedal went down to the floor. And I was like, "Yo, so do you want to bleed these brakes?" And there was a fitting on my left rear caliper that was leaking, so I wanted to pull it off, and put a new one on. He's like, just run it for the heat. You don't need brakes. Well, that last lap, I got in way too low, way too hot, and there's a little bit of wet stuff, and the car got turned straight, and I tried to get on the brakes to whoa it up a little bit, but I didn't have any brakes. So away I went up there to the wall. I watched Fisher, I watched Lawson, and then next thing you know, I watched Mayo. I was like, come on. Yeah, I ran out of talent. I messed up, but I'm sure it won't be my last time I do something like that.
So you raced that whole race without brakes? The heat race?
Yeah, yeah, the heat race. Yeah, the heat race and hops. You really don't need them over at Outlaw unless you mess up
Okay.
like I did. But in the future, you might need them a little bit because everything gets a little tight off the starts and stuff like that. But once we spread out over there, usually it's run what you got, and I don't know. Hopefully, you got to keep your momentum up over there. That's been the hard thing for me is I'm so used to like before I ran over at Outlaw or Woodhall, I ran up at the hill for 2 years. I got a couple feature wins up there or whatever, but um, the small tracks for me seem to be a lot better. Just I don't know, holding the car, holding that momentum up, and swinging the car on those wide turns. I seem to really be having a problem because I'm so used to Woodhall. I like getting in right on the bottom, pinching the car off, and going. And I don't know. I keep every week. I have to talk with the old man. Sometimes I talk with Jeffrey. He's like, dude, you got to go in 2 or 3 car lengths higher. And 1 and 2, I seem to be okay. It's just 3 and 4. 3 and 4, I've been really struggling over there. So I'm hoping we're getting ready to scale up some cars now. So hopefully I can dial it in for Friday and get that under control.
Yeah, I'd say that place definitely owes you at least a heat race one.
Yeah, yeah. So far this year, I've gotten 2 over there. I mean, I raced over there 3 years ago before I come over to Outlaw, and I don't think I finished out of last place. So I'm really happy with how the car has been from that point on. When we switched over to that coil stuff, I was like, dude, there's no way. I was getting outran by everybody and everything. There was rookies just absolutely pulling my doors off, and I was like, dude, this sucks. It really deterred me from racing. I really didn't want to do it. Like I lost my ambition to do it. I was just getting my butt kicked every week. I knew I was going to the track every week, not having really a chance to win. So I got with Jeffrey Doherty, and he's really, really flipped the program upside down the past 2 years. The past 2 years over at Woodhall. Last year we finished fourth in points, and right now we're fighting with Brandon for third in points. And it's been a lot better off since I've gotten with him and starting to really understand what's going on with the shocks and the setup and stuff like that with the coil cars. So
Yeah, and I wanted to you mentioned your third in points. I had that written down here too. Um, two consecutive top threes.
yeah.
You finished in third, what, 2 weeks ago, and third this past week? Well, I guess it was be
Y-
3 weeks ago now, but
Yep.
that's pretty neat.
Yeah, yeah, we're trying. I mean, we're trying everything we can. And Welty last week, he ran a heck of a race, and he was tough to get back under. But I don't know. I gotta go. You know what I mean? Brandon, like you said, me and Brandon are right 1 point apart from each other. So I just gotta go and get on the horse. So I know Welty hasn't been there every week and everything. So I tried everything I could to get back under him. And fortunately, both the races, they were last passes for third place, and turned 3 and 4. So I don't know. A couple weeks ago, I passed Timmy on that last lap or whatever, and then this week I passed Welty on the last lap. So I'm just hoping maybe one of these times I can contend with KP. I thought starting on the hammer last week, I was like, all right, we got this. First lap going into turn 1, I was looking, I'm like, yeah, we don't have it. He just took that high side. He went. I was like, holy cow, he is so fast up there. And then Tim, same thing with Tim. He come around, he was just right there the way he went. I was like, man, those boys, they really got it.
Yeah. I feel like this past week for sure, between them two, it's just whichever one can get out front first, and then as long as they don't make a mistake.
And that's really what it's been. And the thing is Brandon's been right up there too. He's
Mhm.
been really, really quick. And these guys over there, they're just getting better and better. And that's the hard thing about it. I don't know. I haven't gotten a feature win over there in the past 2 years. I've been racing over there, so I've been really hungry to get it. Now that King of the Ring's coming up, I don't know, this is probably my most excited. I don't know. This is the race I get most excited about because the King of the Ring. Who doesn't want to win that? You get the nice crown, you get the cape. You know what I mean? You get the nice big Woodhall check. I don't know. That's just one of the things that's on my bucket list. I really, really, really want to get done. Last year I was out like the first round. I was just like, oh my god, it sucks. So I'm really hoping this year I can put up a little bit better of a fight and get her done.
I was gonna
So.
ask you if you're looking forward to it.
Oh yeah, dude. King of the Rings are my favorite. I love it. I don't know. It really puts everybody on blast, and really shows who's going to be the best out of a lap or two. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
I don't know. And like I say, just having that glory of being like, hey, you know what I mean? I beat everybody to be here, and 1-on-1 with everybody, and here I am. I'm standing on top, and I don't know. I just like I say, the big check and I don't know, the trophy. I don't know, just everything about it's just really neat. I think it's really cool how Woodhull does that.
Yeah, I do. I really enjoy it too, and some people I know some people don't love it, but
Ah,
I think it's cool. I think it's neat. I think
yeah,
it's awesome that people want to put money up for it,
yeah. That's the other thing. Yeah, that's the other cool thing about it.
because I mean. like Terry Pierce told me a couple weeks ago, probably that'd be the easiest, well, probably the least amount of laps you could run for $400.
Do it, and that's just it. I mean, that's just about half, half a win or whatever. That's some pretty good money for us. I can buy a tire and some other parts, whatever, miscellaneous stuff. So that $400 could go a long way for somebody in our shop or whatever. That would help a lot.
Right.
So, and that's the other thing too. It's like a little bonus payday.
hmm And you never know what could happen. This past week, Dan Gardner
Exactly.
won in the street stocks, and he
Yeah.
got a bye in the first round, and then the guy he faced in the second round had mechanical problems. He only had to run 4 laps and won $400.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I don't think I could get that lucky, but I'm hoping, you know what I mean? I'm hoping I can race some of the tougher guys at the beginning and really either prove out or get off the, prove me out or get off the track. So
Right.
I don't know.
I,
I'm excited. I'm really excited for this weekend.
I would say that if you go against Kenny, just hope that you get to be on the outside.
Yeah, yeah. Because last week, yeah, he showed me he's a lot more dominant up there. He was pretty fat. Yeah, like I said, going in, I was like, yeah, I don't have this, do I? He is so good up there. So I don't know. When I was over at Outlaw a couple weeks ago, I started on the outside and just having that jump being able to pull down the track, it seems to help a little bit. So I don't know if I got the outside. I don't know. KP is so tough. He's good anyway. It doesn't matter whether he's on the bottom, the top, the middle. He's good. He's got it. He's been there. I don't know. He's got it. He's good.
So you
So
said
he's gonna be the one.
you said the past couple of races you passed Tim Guild and Dale Welty for third.
Yep.
Um, I guess what's that mean to you to be able to pass guys like that? You know that.
Uh, it feels really good, and the thing is I don't know. It's week in and week out with everybody because beginning of the feature, this week Tim Gill passed me like I was sitting still. He just weren't right by me, and him and Kenny fell right in line. So it's really every week whether you hit the setup or you don't. You know what I mean? Just depending on what the track is, but it feels really good to be competing with them kind of guys. I mean, I can't say I don't know competed really at Kenny lap after lap after lap because I haven't done that yet. But the thing is, I think as our notebook is growing over at Woodhull, I think we're getting better and better and better. So I'm just hoping we just keep chopping from the bottom and just keep digging. And I don't know, hopefully one of these days we can get it done with them. You know what I mean? Them guys, like I say, they're really good. They know the track. They've been there for so long. It's really tough to outsmart them even because they've raced at so many different tracks and they know all the different maneuvers and moves and how all the techniques, how to get somebody shaken up or free somebody up going in. They know everything. So they don't put themselves in that position to get in those loose spots. I don't know, stuff like that. So they're really good. They're really good. They're really tough people to beat.
Yeah, sometimes I kind of wonder how many wins Tim Guild would have if he could start in front of Kenny every week.
Yeah, and that's just it. I was hoping with last week I'd get a little bit of breathing room, but have Kenny and Tim start, a couple cars back. Kenny was right there on the hammer. He looked into me and he's like, "Yep, watch this," and he went. So it's cool. It's really cool. But yeah, I think those two guys they're really duking it out this year. They're having some good racing. That's been a good thing. I think the past couple weeks the racing over at Woodhall has been really good. It's been minimal cautions and everybody's been racing each other clean with respect. And it's really fun racing when we do that stuff over there. It's a lot of like I say, it's my favorite track to run at. When everybody's running good, it's so much fun to run at.
Well, I don't know if you listen to this podcast or not, but I say just about every week that I imagine most race car drivers would rather spend all week washing the car and then worrying about the setup
Uh,
rather than banging out dents. So,
oh yeah, yeah. That dents and bent parts get quite expensive.
hmm
After I mean, it's like I say, for a little team like us, when you start bending front axles and shocks and stuff like that, it gets pricey quick.
Yeah, yeah, definitely, and especially with you guys trying to field 3 cars, and I
Yeah, that's just it. Something happens to Braden's or Kenneth's car, we're pulling parts out of my trailer to help them guys. Or if I need parts out of Braden's trailer, I'm like, hey, I'm sorry, but I need it, man. I got to take it. And I don't know, it sucks doing that. And like I say, a couple weeks ago when I blew that tranny, even like Tim Guild, he was like, hey, I got a tranny for you, and he let me borrow it, which is really, I don't know, that's the really neat thing about racing. It's usually at the tracks, a lot of people will do anything to kind of get you on the track and help you out. It's so cool how that happens. So.
right. Yeah, that is one of my favorite things. Is usually when somebody breaks down, or even if they blow it up and they can't race. Usually, if you're racing for points, there's somebody there that'll at least let
Yep.
you hop in to take the green to get your
Yeah, exactly.
something like
Yep, I
that.
totally agree.
Yeah,
Which is nice.
yeah, that's always been one of my favorite things about. I don't know if it's just the area that we're in where it's so small and there everybody kind of does everything for everybody. It seems like, but.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so I was kind of looking through the internet earlier today, trying to get some information on you. So I how many you picked up a couple of wins earlier at the Hill, correct? A few
Yes.
years ago.
Yep. It's probably been like 4 years since I won a feature.
Yeah, 2020 to be exact from what I saw.
Yeah, so 5 years. It's been even longer.
Well, I guess you could have won in 2021, but I didn't see nothing.
No. I won two. I don't know. It was 2 years apart, a year apart, or whatever. I can't remember what year it was.
Right. And that was is that the only track you've won at besides heat
Yeah,
races?
yeah, yep. The hill, and over there, it was when I was racing over there, Dayton was kind of coming over there. AJ was racing over there a little bit. Isabel was racing over there a little bit. Dalton Maynard was over there. Who else was over there that you guys would know? Oh, and yeah, there's a lot. The Powells were all Rich Powell and all that
Mhm.
crew. His son and his cousin, I think, were racing. There's a lot of guys. Not a lot. I mean, we had 15 cars, whatever. But it was the track's a lot like Woodhall. It's a little bit smaller, but I don't know. I always felt like the hill was just hammered down. You were just smacking on the gas and just letting her eat. And I don't know. I liked it over there, but they got rid of the crate class, so we had to go elsewhere.
Oh, did they? Is that why you
Yeah,
went over to Outlaw?
yeah, toward the end over there, the last year or two, they're just I don't know. There'd be a week where we'd get 5 or 6 cars, and the next week we'd get 15. The next week we'd get 5 cars again. It was just really up and down. It was a little bit of a drive for us too. So the shop is out of Lawrenceville, so it was like a 2 hour drive to get up there for us. Which is not it's not bad, but when Woodhall is an hour down the road or whatever, and Outlaw is an hour down the road for us, it's just a lot more practical to go there.
Right. Yeah, and that's the other thing too, especially when you guys got such a big operation. Um, now does your dad do you usually haul a car and your dad hauls the other one, or how's that work?
Yeah, so my old man, he got the big diesel truck or whatever, so he hauls the big 36-foot trailer. And then typically I'll haul Braden's or McKenna's car, whoever's going to the track, whatever. I'll haul that. We have the open trailer right now that we've been hauling cars with because the other trailer, like I said, it's more of a storage than it is a trailer right now. So yeah, I've been hauling the Braden's or McKenna's car, and then he'll haul the big one.
Well, I'm surprised they're not in there trying to get it all out so they can have the enclosed trailer.
Yeah, it just seemed like we're always running and busy. By the time we got to work, and like I say, the shop's in Lawrenceville, and I live in Horsehead, so I have like a 45 minute to an hour drive every time I'm commuting back and forth or whatever. So by the time I get up here, get started with everything, and you know what I mean, it just I don't know, time just flies by. Like I said, we got all the tires, all the work on the car, the maintenance, the prep. I don't know, getting the trailers ready, reorganizing them every week. It's just I don't know. It's just a lot for just the three or four of us. We don't really have a whole lot of other help helping us. So like I say, usually when we're in the shop, we're all hammering the cars and tires and getting everything ready for the following week.
Right.
So it's
Um,
tough to do that.
so has there been any talk now that you got two enclosed trailers about the number situation? Have you thought about bringing that up again?
No, no, Brain can have the 25. So yeah, back when we first started racing, our old man gave us a choice. He was like, "Listen, we got one enclosed trailer, one open trailer. I'm 25. I'm retiring. You boys can pick. Either you have the number, or you have the trailer. You know what I mean? You have a nice trailer, or you have my number." And he was older, so he got to pick. So he picked the number, and I got the trailer. Which I don't know. I guess it all works out. Our first car that we got was it had a number 27W body. I don't know where the guy come from or anything like that, but it's just a number we had. So that's the number I just stuck with. First it was 27, but I think Fisher, I think was the guy. No, not Brian Fish. Who was the 27 that used to race over at Woodhall? He hasn't been our outlaw. He hasn't been over there in a couple of years.
Fish?
Yeah, I think it was Fish. It wasn't Fisher. It was Fish. Yeah.
Brian, I think Brian
Yeah,
Fish
Brian
maybe.
Fish. Yeah, yeah. So he was 27. That's where the B come from. Because that one year I tried racing over there, he was 27, so I had to put the B on it. So that's where
Okay.
the B come from.
Yeah, I just thought it was funny. I remember you telling me that story, and now that you got two
Yeah.
trailers, I didn't know if maybe that was
Yeah.
put on the
Yeah. Fortunately, I still got the nice trailer because of it. So I guess it's all working out. But I
right.
think here the old man bought that one. He told us, he said, "Hey, after this, I'm done. I'm done buying race car stuff. I'm gonna buy the trailer for us. Get back and forth to the track. But after this, I'm done." So I think here in a couple of years, I'd like to buy my own trailer and just kind of that's the last thing I'm missing out of my operation. I got my truck, I got the cars, I get all the spare parts, tires, I got everything. I'm missing the trailer.
Right.
And I think, you know, with history with his trailer and everything, we got lots of room for all the spare parts and tires and stuff like that. But it has like a high back, and when you pull on the cars in, it drags and it drives me nuts. It'll grab the slider and it's been ripping up the diamond plate. It just drives me nuts. So I think the next couple of years, maybe I think that'll be my next investment with the racing stuff is to get a trailer.
Now did you start in a four cylinder?
So that's funny. I raced maybe like 3 or 4 races in a 4 cylinder. I don't know, maybe five. I was back. I raced a couple at Woodhall, maybe 1 or 2 over at Outlaw. So Brayton, he was a big four cylinder driver. When he drove 4 cylinders, he was really good. He was racing with Cole Youst and Jordan Bacon and all them guys, and they it was I don't know, it was really fun to watch him, and he really excelled in that class. And then he blew the motor up at toward the end of the year. So I played high school sports when we started racing, or whatever, my senior year. So our sophomore year. So he was mainly driving because I was playing sports, and the old man, he told me, I mean, you got your whole life to race. Just focus on the things you can focus on now. Focus on the school sports, and getting through school, and then after that, then you can start racing and stuff like that. So I raced a couple of times when we got the 4 cylinder, but mainly Braden was racing that. He didn't really play any sports, so he was just working on the race car and doing that. And like I say, he did really good. And then he ended up blowing an engine up, and then we started off the next season. He took it out for practice over at Outlaw and blew up that engine. And after that, we sold that 4 cylinder. I'm pretty sure I can't remember who bought that 4 cylinder, but I think it was Lee. I don't know. I'd like to say it was Levi, but I can't remember who bought that 4 cylinder. No, it was Blake Parsons. That's who it
Like
was.
Parsons?
I'm sorry. Yeah, Blake Parsons ended up buying that 4 cylinder that we had.
Um, you mentioned the school sport, so I got to ask you this because this came up when I was trying to find some information on you. Do you
Yep.
think how many other people do you think played ice hockey?
Oh, around
How many
here?
other drivers do you think can even get on
Uh,
ice skates, let alone play hockey?
uh, I don't know. I think that'd be fun to good little team bonding, get all the drivers on the first arena, see who can skate around, do a little ice racing. That's one thing I might be able to win at is the ice racing stuff. But yeah, I don't know who, on all honesty, I don't think there's a whole lot of people that can really skate anymore like that. But yeah, I played junior hockey out of Binghamton and played for the 16U team and stuff like that. I played for Elmira for the longest time. But yeah, we were traveling around playing private schools and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun. We had like a trainer and a coach bus, and I don't know, we had like when we go out on tournaments and stuff, we were leaving like Thursdays and Fridays, and we were gone for a couple of days, and the coaches would get us rooms and stuff. It was a lot of fun. We had kids from all over the place. We had a kid from Russia, a couple of kids from Texas, a couple of kids from Lake Placid, a couple of kids from Pittsburgh, and just all over the place. So it was a really fun hockey and experience. So like I say, that's why it was so hard for me to play our race cars back in the day, because I was so busy with hockey. I was doing off ice during the summer, playing for the Vermont Wildcats, and I did that a couple of times during the summer. And during fall, winter, I don't know, beginning of the year, June, whatever, I was always playing hockey. And then right when that stuff stopped, come April, I was playing lacrosse. So I was the goalie for lacrosse. So I did
Those
that too.
might from the area that I come from, those might be the two most random sports because I don't even know if
Yeah.
any I don't know if any school around where I'm from even has those two sports.
No, yeah, that's just it. Not a lot of schools have hockey, but
Mhm.
something that was cool, like I say, my junior year, we had a high school hockey team. So I went to Horseheads High School. So we combined with Elmira. It was Elmira and Horseheads. We combined our schools up and we made a hockey team. And we played down in Binghamton. We were playing like Vestal, Shenango Valley, Binghamton, just like UE, Union Endicott, just all those teams. And it was like I don't know, I think there was like 10 teams, and we played for like a championship every year. That was pretty neat. That was all for the school. So there was a lot of kids that just wanted to try it and play, so they weren't really all that good. And then I don't know. It was a lot of fun though. It was a lot of fun. The coaches were awesome. It was a lot of fun.
What position did you play?
So for hockey, I played defense. So
Defense.
I was a big man in the back. I
Yeah.
don't look very big, but when you put me on some skates, I got some leverage out there, and we put some bodies on some teams. I don't know. I feel like my last year of hockey, I'll always say this, is a lot of really, really, really good people, but we were all, I don't know, little little crap heads. We I don't know, before our last tournament, we had a couple kids get thrown out of the tournament before we even got on the ice, arguing with parents and stuff like that. So we were a bunch of hellraisers, and like I don't know, I'll never forget this. The first puck drop of the last game that I ever played in, Jello Carbone dropped the gloves and started teeing off on him. Alec Conrad, he did the same. I don't know. we just had a group of guys that just didn't care, and we had a lot of fun playing hockey.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that when I saw the picture of you on the hockey. I just said
Yeah.
I never thought that I'd ever be interviewing a race car driver, let alone one that played hockey.
Yep. Yeah, that would be me. It's weird, as weird as it sounds. That I went from hockey to lacrosse to racing. I don't know. That's what I did.
Do you still watch hockey at all or
Oh yeah. I As bad as it may sound, I'm a Pittsburgh Penguins fan. You know what I mean? We haven't been too hot since like I don't know 2017, but it's all right. We're gonna come back through, and we're gonna be all good. Yeah, we watch hockey. That's probably like you said. That's the big sport we watch. Braden, he's a big Capital fan, and I'm a Pittsburgh fan. So,
well, I'll be honest with you. I'm not in any position to pick on anybody for team not being that great because I'm a St.
oh, who
Louis
do you
fan.
like?
So
Yeah. See, we were battling for last place last year.
yeah,
Hey,
well,
hey, hey, hey.
yeah, but
It's
yeah,
okay.
but I'm used to it.
Yeah, me, I wasn't, but now I am.
Yeah,
Now they're getting down there, so I don't know. But you know what that means? First round picks. That's all we got to worry
yeah.
about.
You
We'll
know,
be up there.
I've been hearing that for about 14 years now. So
That's also true.
I think the last time they made the playoffs, I was in eighth grade.
Oh my god. Yeah, and that's just it. You know what I mean? And they're so close, and that's whenever Pittsburgh comes or Washington comes, whatever, we'll go up to Buffalo and watch them play. But like you say, you're kind of watching the battles of the 26 and 25th seed teams in the league. But I don't know. I still have a ball down there. Buffalo's a good. They're my second favorite team now because like I say, you can actually go down there and you can go to the arena and watch it. I've been down there a couple of times. I have a lot of fun going down there to Buffalo.
Yeah, I always said hockey games are probably the most entertaining to go to and watch. You know, if you're
Absolutely. I
gonna,
think absolutely.
because I
I
think,
think
go ahead.
just like I don't know. I think hockey is like I don't know. It's a lot better to watch it in person than it is to watch it on TV because you can
Yeah.
actually keep track of everything, see what's going on. I don't know. I like watching it in person a lot better than I do like watching it on TV.
And then I feel like I don't know if you watch football or not, but I kind of feel like
Oh
football is the
yeah.
opposite, where I've been to a
Yep.
football game before and it's almost better to
It's
just watch it on the couch.
I totally agree. You can't see anything. Half the time go, if you're at Buffalo, half the time you're freezing when you're out there. It's snowing. It's
Mhm.
cold. And like you say, you can kick back on a couch, click the TV on, get some food out of your kitchen, and not pay $30 for a hot dog or whatever. So
Well,
that's the good thing about it.
and you don't have to take your gloves off every time you want to open a beer.
Bingo. That's just it too. You're
So what
free.
else do you like to do other than racing and any
Oh,
other interests that you got, or is that pretty
um,
much it?
So besides like racing, I don't know. I spend I don't know. I try to do a lot of things. I guess I do a lot with my dog and stuff like that. I'm always taking my dog out for like adventures and walks and shit like that. But I don't know. I do a lot with her. And then the girlfriend, we're always doing busy with her. So she just actually graduated with her master's degree from Alfred. So we just got done going up there and moving her out and her graduating and doing all that stuff. So we're getting ready to kind of try to roll into our next chapter of our lives. And we've been thinking, I don't know. I've been, I don't know, my living situation or whatever. I've been kind of buying my uncle's house off of him, and we've been talking. We don't know if we kind of like want to go move out to like more of like a country estate, kind of like live out in the country a little bit, have a little bit of the land, and kind of do all the fun stuff. Build the garage and do the race cars, and have plenty of rooms for trailers. Because I don't know, up at my old man's, it's great. It's really great the new garage, but the driveway and everything. We don't have a lot of driveway room. And he has a camper. We have the three trailers, and then he has my sister's car, his car or the truck. He has his like beater car. Then Erica, she had my stepmom. She has her car. So the driveway it's filled. And when we're loading up cars and unloading and washing stuff, we got to pull everything out in the road, and it's just a pain in the butt to do all that. So I think here, like I don't know, we just kind of talk about everything, and I don't know. I think we're gonna kind of maybe like do something like that and maybe start looking at different avenues in our life. But I don't know. That's really all I've been doing. I watch a lot of racing and then I work a lot. I work at Siemens Energy. So I'm always there and working on their stuff. And I love that stuff.
So what do you do there? I don't
So,
actually know if I know what they do.
so Siemens is in painted post. So basically we put together and assemble gas compressors, oil compressors, and like turbos and stuff like that. So I mean, you know how big the race cars are or whatever. Take that, put that in a circle, put piston inside the race car, and you got six rows, whatever, six race cars lined up with them pistons, and they're just hump chucking. You got a big old crank and bearings and all that good stuff. So it's basically like we're building huge motors slash compressors or whatever you want to call them, our turbines.
Hmm.
So it's pretty neat, but I don't know. It gets stressful every once in a while. We got really high clearances and tolerances and stuff like that. So this is I don't know. I got a good group of guys to work with, so it's a lot of fun to work there and do that kind of stuff. And it kind of goes hand in hand with the racing stuff. You know what I mean? I'm working like with the mechanics, working with the tools and the wrenches, putting things together, tearing them apart. Run, and we also like do like run tests and stuff like that. So after we build them, we'll hook them up to a huge motor, turn them over, and let them roll. So and they'll roll anywhere between like 300 RPMs all the way up to like 1200 RPMs. And
Huh.
they just crank. They're pretty neat.
Is that where Tim works too?
So
Tim Guild? Does he work there?
no,
Mm.
I think Tim works at Corning or something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know where
Fluor. Yeah.
exactly he works.
Yeah.
So yeah, where Siemens is, it's in Painted Post. It's the old brand actually,
Okay. Yeah,
the
that's
old Dresser.
well, that's good. Yeah, I always saw their I don't know if they do, but they used to sponsor the racetrack, and I'd always see their signs
Yeah,
and stuff, and
yep,
I never actually knew what they did.
yeah.
But
That's what we do there. It's kind of like I guess we're like a I don't know a special force in the industry because we kind of do like a lot of like premium like one-off builds and stuff like that, and that's what makes the Siemens world so special. You know what I mean? It's not like we're just kind of getting in the same motors or whatever every day. Everything is like a one-off, special made part and stuff like that. It's really neat. It's really neat to do that kind of stuff.
well, what kind of dog do you have?
So I have a blue nose pit bull, purebred.
Okay.
So I had a buddy back in the day, and he had a bunch of dogs, or whatever. And I went over there one day, and he's like, "Hey, I got this dog." The kid brought him back, whatever. I don't want him, and he had him in. Oh, I don't know. He was over in the corner, or whatever, tucked away from like all the other dogs. And I'm like, oh, whatever.
Uh-oh. Well, we lost Quentin here, so I'm gonna see if he can rejoin us. I guess we're just gonna have a little bit of time to kill. So once again, I do want to thank D&L Disposal for being hopping on. Oh, I thought I heard him there. For hopping on board with us here and the bull ring breakdown. Just gonna send a quick message to Quentin here, tell him to click the link. It should let him back in here. But upcoming this Saturday at the Woodhall Raceway, I want to remind everybody that it is the annual Christmas in July. We're gonna do bicycle giveaways. You know, it's always fun. You could bring the kid, get a free bicycle. $400 to win. King of the Bull Ring for the Crate Sportsman. That is sponsored by Trappler Trucking. Let's see here. Let's see what else we got up. I didn't quite have my schedule pulled up. I probably should have had something to go on in case this happened, but we're just gonna keep on rolling. Yeah, so
Sorry about that. My
oh, there
phone
he
just
is. We
crashed.
got him back.
Yeah,
That's
my
okay.
phone died. I'm sorry.
I just killed a little bit of time talking about the about this weekend. So that's all.
Perfect.
That's all. We were able
So
to kill
yeah,
it.
as I was saying, she was sitting over there looking up her. Went home. I was like, "Yo, mom, my buddy has a dog. Can I go get it and bring it home?" She had two dachshunds at the time. She was like, absolutely not. So, as any 18-year-old kid does, I went back and got the dog and brought it home. And, my mom fell in love with it. And that was, it's been history after that. She's just, I don't know, she's like my best friend. You know what I mean? She's always there when I walk in to greet me and everything. And man, the moment I walk in or the moment I peep my eyes open in the morning, that dog, she's ready to get up, ready to go outside for a walk and ready to start her day. So she keeps me on my toes. That's for sure.
Right.
But doing all this racing stuff, you know what I mean? I'm home, like I say, one day out of the week if I'm lucky. So I hardly ever get to do that kind of stuff. So when I'm not working on the race cars, usually that's what I'm doing is taking her out for walks and giving her the attention she needs, whatever. Because I don't know, she's definitely an attention needy dog. She's high energy. She's ready to rock.
Yeah, I got two German short haired pointers.
Oh, so
So
you know
I
how
know
that
all
goes.
about attention needy, full of energy
Yeah,
dogs.
yeah,
The one we got, I'd never owned a dog before, and my girlfriend begged me and begged me. She said she always wanted a pointer, and I never had a dog. I always said I'm never home enough, and they're too much work, and I never had one. And now, then she talked me into it, and we got this dog. And I said, well, I don't think I'll ever not have a dog now.
yeah. Hey, you know what? They always say a dog's a man's best friend.
Yeah,
So
well,
I
yeah.
don't think they say that for no reason.
Right. And then I got the other one. The other one was a rescue. It was the dog we had. It's her brother. And
Sweet.
we found
Can't
out
beat
that
that.
they were somebody had him and kept him in a cage all day and his crap and his pee and he just sat there, hardly ate. And so
Yeah.
for some reason they didn't like me. I don't know why. I'd only met them one time,
Yeah.
but and so they wouldn't give us the dog. So then we had my one of my girlfriend's friends go pick up the dog, tell them that we're taking it to the shelter, and then we ended up stealing the dog.
Hey, it all works out in the end. And that's the thing. You got to give them furry friends, the attention and, what they need because,
Right.
they don't ask for it. They're just there to love and get love.
Right. Well, what I said was, I said, well, I don't really know if I want to steal a dog, but you know what? I think if anybody saw the condition the dog was in, I think, it's
They'd
better
be
to go
okay
to
with
me
it.
than a shelter anyway,
Absolutely.
even if it's
Absolutely.
the best shelter in the world. So,
Yeah, but they're still all not that great.
yeah. Well, and I got pictures on my phone, but this dog was just about skin and bones when we got him, and
Oh,
I
man.
think my girlfriend had to give him 4 or 5 baths just because everything was caked onto his backside, and
That poor guy.
yeah, all of his glands were swollen from just sitting in it for so long, and so, but now he's good. Now he's up to the full
Good.
weight.
And I'm sure he loves you guys to the bitter
Yeah,
end.
and it's funny because the one dog that we got, the girl, she's been that we got, and we got her as a puppy. So she's been kind of pampered her whole life, and you think she's fast, but then the other dog runs her right down. You're like, oh, that one's a different
Yeah.
breed.
Yeah,
That dog's
that's
different.
how it goes.
Yeah. Um.
But,
So I gotta ask it, and I do like to ask most of the sportsman guys this. Do you ever kind of foresee anything in your immediate future, maybe with some sail panels, or are you just
oh,
happy doing the crate stuff for right now?
if if I could do it, I would do it in a heartbeat. Like that's right. That's all the sports. I mean, that's my personal goal, right? Is to get in a modified, excel, be as best as I can be. And I think putting them sail panels on, going that extra horsepower, I don't know. I think that's where it's at, and that's my ultimate goal is to be in a modified. I don't know what it is about the crate stuff or the mod stuff. I don't know if just because it's what my old man did for most of my life is the crate stuff, but I'm really just drawn into the mod race, into the mod world, and into the crate stuff. I like the late models and the sprint cars and stuff, but I really don't have any interest in driving any of those cars. Like I am 100% set on these mods, and me and the old man, we've tried and we've kind of like during off seasons, we've him and hawed about maybe trying to get all our sponsor money together and put everything together and try to buy a mod. But the thing is we don't want to only put our money in one basket. You know what I mean? We want to be able to have, Braden enjoy his time and McKenna to enjoy her time and stuff like that. So we kind of got to spread out all the money evenly and kind of do it that way. I actually, over the winter last year from Greg Crooker, I bought his crate engine. And if everything goes well, maybe at the end of this year, we were thinking about maybe trying to get rid of the crate motors and maybe going into something bigger or just anything. I don't know. I was watching yours and Brandon's, I don't know, thing from last week or whatever, and he said the same thing. If you guys had a 358 class, I would probably be really interested in because it's something that like 358 is a spec class, right? So there's not guys that can drop 50 grand in a spec motor and really outcompete anybody. But compared to the sportsman, you have a lot more horsepower to get around that track and to drive that top off. I mean, I know Kenny can really drive that top, and same thing with him, but there's only a select few guys that can really hammer on that top in the sportsman. Compared to the mods, you watch them guys, every other car's up there hammering the lip.
I
So I don't know. That would definitely be a goal of mine to get in a mod. Whether it comes in the future or not, I don't know. Just because another thing that deters me from that is after 1,000 laps or 1,500 laps, big box mod block, depending on what you got to do the rebuild, which that's another 10 to 15 grand for the rebuild. So right there, you're in a brand new crate engine. You know what I mean? Every 2 years or every year. So that's what deters me is it just yes, the initial cost is high, and yes, every year it's going to cost you about the same money as it would be to buy a brand new sportsman. So I think with the sportsman motors too, we can get 2, 3, 5, you know what I mean, years out of a motor depending on how long they last. So I don't know. I think the mod or the crate racing is probably where I'm going to end up staying unless I can find a ride, whatever. I don't know. I reached out to a couple guys. I tried to reach out to like Wally Wade and like Larry Kinnison to maybe hop in their mods or whatever. I know they got a couple motors sitting there or whatever. I don't know. I would do anything to get my foot in the door to get in a mod seat. So I don't know. Like I say, hopefully maybe one day in my future I can drive a mod and just get my feet wet with it and see how much I like it because this crate racing is fun. And the thing is about it is you can ultimately go anywhere and be competitive with a crate engine. Like you can go to Land of Legends, you can go to Outlaw, you can go to Dirt Week, you can go down to Florida at the beginning of the year where them guys that are doing all that traveling and stuff like that, a lot of them guys got big blocks with 50, 60, 70 grand just in their engine bays. Like there's no way I could ever compete with them guys.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I always said. That's compare or that's what I always said about Woodhull, and I know the modifieds are a little different, but you definitely don't need the what you need at like say Outlaw. You don't need that at Woodhull
Yeah,
to compete. So, and I've
I
always
totally agree.
I've always liked that about Woodhull, but
But
yeah,
I mean, look at Outlaw. You know what I mean? Like AJ Petrobowski, he dominated over there with a small block. I know when he won the not dominated, but he did really well with the small block. And then you got, of course, the super Stuart Friesen. He went over there what a couple years ago and won in that 358. So I mean, it's really all on how the track is. And I don't know. I think Woodhull, you're so right. You don't need none of them 950 horse engines. You can get away with a 500 horse, 600 horse engine as long as you can figure out how to get that power to the track.
right. Well, and Woodhull is such a more technical track too. I
Very
don't
true.
really mean that as a negative way towards Outlaw or any
No,
other track, but
no, I
just
totally agree.
just the way that it's built, it seems to be more technical where that really kind of I always enjoyed it when like back in what probably 5, 10 years ago when the short track super series was there
Oh
because
yeah,
it was one of the only tracks that I remember that them big guys had a tough time competing against the regulars. You
absolutely.
know
Yeah,
that
they really didn't enjoy coming up. It sucks. Yeah, because Woodhall is a very like you say, it's a special track that either you can run it and you're really good at it, or you can't. I don't know. You really struggle there.
right.
It's a tough track.
Well, and I think I'd struggle at any track. So, you know what?
Uh, I I think if you got a car and got your feet wet with it, I think you can do it just as good as anybody else in
Nah,
any class. You know what I mean?
nah, no.
Absolutely.
I was talking to who the heck was I talking to? Maybe Kyle Leach today. Maybe it was Kyle Leach. And I told him I don't know how you guys get so close. I go, you guys go in the corner, you guys are so close. I go, how do you
Yeah,
guys not? And I know you guys
that's
hit
what.
each other sometimes, but
Oh yeah,
I mean, I don't know how you guys aren't plowing into rear ends all night, like
yeah. I mean, there's some nights I feel like that's what we do over there, but for the most part, yeah, like that's just it. Like with the experience, like Tim and Kenny, like they can set their cars, and they'll be right here the whole time, right with you, and they don't lose an inch. Like with me, usually, like when we go in, I'm like, all right, I'll let out a little bit and let them roll. I'll roll behind them, and hopefully, maybe I can get them coming out. And that's one thing me and my dad have been kind of talking about the past couple of weeks. I need to be a little bit more aggressive on the track. I think I just kind of usually if somebody takes a line or if somebody has a spot and I try to dive under them and they're coming, I got to stay and hold my line and just fight a little bit harder for the spots. I think that's half of my struggle is I just usually if I see somebody there, usually I try to give them plenty of room to let them do what you know what I mean. I'm trying to race with them, and that's the hard part about Woodhull. Is sometimes you have to give somebody a skid rail just to let them know you're there or to get by them and stuff like that. But I hate doing that because, like I say, everything is so expensive for us, and it's once we tear a car apart, it's just a lot easier to hang back and finish fifth than it is to try to press the issue and finish fourth for another $100 where we could be spending a lot more in damage than that $100, whatever, getting that spot. But
well,
I'm in it now. I want to win so bad. So I've been the past couple of weeks. I've been throwing everything at it over there. So I don't know. I'm hoping, like I say, we just keep on going, keep on rolling. And I've been watching lap times and stuff, and we're right there with the top two guys. So I
absolutely.
mean, we're right there.
And I think you're close at both tracks, really. I mean, you won or you just about won that heat race over on Thursday with no brakes. I mean,
Yeah,
you can say what you want, but that's still, that's a still pretty impressive feat for, especially with how young you are too.
yeah,
You're just kind of getting started. I know you've been at it for what 5 years now, but
yeah. That six
compared to
years,
Kenny or
and
Tim, that's nothing.
yeah, and the thing is I don't know. I got like Carter and AJ and Isabel and all them guys. They all grew up racing go karts. So instead of just like me trying to learn how to drive a sports or whatever, I'm also trying to learn how to race, if that makes sense with you. Like you said, trying to get close to somebody when when to bump them and make them loose going into the turn, when to dive under somebody, how to throw a slide job. Where a lot of these guys, they drove before they were even walking, so they, you know what I mean. They have all that knowledge right in the back of their head. So like, all right, I'm gonna throw a slide job here. All right, I'm gonna do, where I kind of, I don't know, I'm a little bit slower on trying to learn how to throw the car into the turn, how to throw the slide jobs. Where everybody's like, yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years, no problem. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Well,
So
yeah.
that's been the tough thing.
Right. And I know you mentioned Carter and it's his first year in a modified, well, I guess second year in a modified this year, but um I mean, how long's he been racing, compared to that, almost 15 years, like
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And the thing is, but when he goes out there, you know, I mean, there's nights where he lights that track on fire, and he is 100% hands down the best car and driver on the track. And there's nights where he goes out there, and there's a lot of other drivers out there that are the same exact way. You know, Dayton Brewer, he's another one. That kid can hang a car out there. He is so fast. And same thing with Aiden Grover. He's been impressing the heck out of me lately. Like, last weekend, he impressed. I thought he was going to get it. I was hooting
I,
and hollering for him. Like
I was gonna
these guys just get better and better.
I was gonna ask you if you had time to check out the modified race or if you
Oh
loaded your
yeah, I
car
was
right
watching.
up
Oh
or
no, we definitely, if we can, like I say, I love the mods. So if we can get down there and watch the mods, 100% we are wide. We'll leave the car. I'll get out of the car, leave it there. We'll go watch the mods, 100%. I love watching the mods racing. Like I say, when they put on racing like that, man, it makes you really want to come back and excited for the next week. And I
right.
don't know if you looked or anything, but the points battle between them. Have you looked at the points battle between the mod guys
Yeah,
right
the
now?
the top four are
Woo!
within 10 points and the top
Yeah, that's
six are within
awesome.
23.
And that's how you know what I mean? It's such a even playing field right now. Like all them guys are really hanging it out there and battling for it. And I don't know, we only got really like 8 weeks of
I
racing
know.
left or whatever. So it's winding down slowly, but it's coming fast. You know what I mean? This year's been quick with all the rainouts at the beginning of the year. And like I said, like you said, the top 10 so close in points. It's gonna be really interesting to see how this shakes down this year for them guys.
Yeah, what I said was I couldn't believe the maturity from Aiden Grover from a guy
Yeah.
who's never won a modified race to be right there and he never did anything dirty, never really even
No.
got into the back of him. And
Yeah, no.
I watched that race and I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know if I would have the same patience because
Yeah, no, I don't know either. Because he'd get up there, and then he'd have to get back, and he'd get back up there. It was. I thought it was really good racing. That's just it
very
with them guys like Dayton Brewer and Aiden. They know where to be and how to be there. They're running that lip. Hey, guess what? I got to go to the bottom. And that's what That's what they're doing. They're really good at running that track and protecting the line that they need to protect. And I
well,
think that's what makes them guys so dangerous.
right, and it's a
You know
good
what I mean?
thing
They're
that
good.
Dayton Brewer held that line or
Oh,
moved up to that
absolutely.
line because I think if he
Yeah.
was down on the bottom, he would have got blown by.
Oh, yeah. Aiden was moving on that top side. He was
I
good.
and I don't mean to take anything away from Dayton. I think Dayton would even
Oh, dude, Dayton's
tell
a
you
heck of a
that
driver.
that the he might have had the second place car that night, but you know that's the way it
Hey,
goes
but
sometimes.
I guess yeah, I was just gonna say, I guess sometimes when the checker flaws, it's the best man up front, right? I mean, I don't know. Like I say, them guys are so talented, and
Mhm.
they've been running that track too. So like I say, they just know how to get around, hit their marks, and they're phenomenal. It's really fun to watch them guys over there compete like that.
It is, and I can't how fast they go. I just can't
Yeah,
believe
yeah,
it.
they are
I
hammered
re
down, man.
and
They
and
stick
I
it
don't I
too.
don't want to take anything away from you sportsmen guys, but you just
No,
when you see the modifieds and they're just
oh
racing like they
yeah,
were this past weekend, and you're like,
yeah.
holy cow! I don't know how you guys can do it.
No, yeah, them guys are good. They really are. And there's a lot of guys in that class that have 20, 25 years plus experience. You know what I mean? And these younger guys coming up, they're really on their game and really figuring out these race cars. They're getting really good. And I think that's the other hard thing is as this younger generation's coming up, you know what I mean? Everybody, the sport evolves so quick. So everybody's finding the next best thing. And it's just one after the other after the other. Once you stop working, you fall behind just like that. And I think that's what makes them guys so great out there that are up front every week because they're always evolving, they're always learning, they're talking to the right people, they get the right information. So, and I think once I unlock some more key people to really dial everything in and help my program out and everything we got going, I think we're really be on the right patch. I don't know, in the next couple of years, I'd really like to do some of the short track stuff and kind of lean that direction. I don't know. I think we have a good enough car and program to be able to go and race with them guys.
Right. So how come you're talking to me and not at Afton tonight?
Wow, because them guys are, I gotta be ready for this weekend. You know how that goes. No, just
Yeah, I
yeah,
do.
me and the old man, like I say, in the near future with the girlfriend and everything. I never know what's gonna happen. I think the 2 night racing, it's been a lot of fun, but unless we get 2 cars for next year, I don't know if I could really swing this again because getting that car around and if something happens over at Outlaw, I'm kind of done for Saturday night. And Saturday night is where I've been thriving a lot more. You know what I mean? I like Woodhall a lot. I thrive
So
over
if
there. I like the track.
so if you so say this, I hate to even put it out there, but say this weekend you wad a car up at Outlaw. Is your brother gonna let you hop in his for the points or?
He probably would. He probably would.
Okay.
And if not, I think I don't know. I don't know if he would because he's like eighth in points or whatever. So he's probably like, yeah, you're beat. So I don't know how that would work. But regardless, we'd have that car on the track even if we just got lap points. We'd be there.
Right.
I got everything besides the spare chassis basically to put together another car. I got the motor, I got a rear end, front end, steering box. I got everything. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of getting another chassis in here and building one up.
Yeah, your brother is an eighth,
Yep.
but fun fact, he's six away from seventh. So yeah,
Yep.
I mean
And you know,
that's a good heat race.
that's been his downfall. The motor that's in his car, it was my old man's motor, and before it was his motor, it was actually Chris Doherty's motor. So I mean, you're talking it's been around the block a couple of times. That motor's just laying over. So like I said, I got that other motor over there, but we've been debating whether because if we do it, I'd be pulling my motor out of my car, putting it in his car, taking that spare motor, putting that in my car, but then we'd have to pull his motor on top of all that. So we'd have to move 3 motors around. And like you said, we only got 8 weeks left. And if no rain out. So I think his big plan for the offseason this year is probably to get a new hammer in there and kind of wake that car up a little bit because I don't know. We've been trying to dial in his car every week or whatever, but the thing is that power plant it's not running right. You start it up and it just sounds really it's just getting old. It's getting
Just tired.
tired and yeah. I did a compression test on it a couple weeks ago and it was like I don't know. I think it was like 16. I don't know, 16 pounds difference in between cylinders and stuff like it's had its time. It needs either rebuild or go down the road kind of thing. But I don't know. It's a lot of work to start switching motors. I think
Yeah.
either we're gonna wait till we pop it or pull it out, rebuild it at the end of the year. And I think, like I said, he's gonna probably buy a new one at the end of the year to kind of get him back up and going. But this weekend, Friday is actually his birthday or whatever, so he wants to go run Outlaw. So we're gonna get his car around for Outlaw and make sure we're gonna take both cars because, like I said, kind of done for the year probably. So we have that extra trailer now. We can kind of take them over there or whatever.
Tell him to stay out of the front stretch wall.
Oh yeah, we'll try. I don't know if you ever remember this, but back in his 4 cylinder day in his
I just
heyday,
saw a picture.
yes, he put it in that fence coming out of 1 and 2. Him and I don't remember who it was, but it was a purple and green 38, whatever. They were going, they got locked together and away they went, and he went up that fence, and that's actually one of the things I said to my sister when after she got done with her wreck or whatever, she come back to the pit. She was a little upset or whatever. I'm like, hey, kind of just saying you and Braden are both 0-0, and Outlaw is both 1-1. I said, you guys haven't tore down no fences. You guys got 2 tore up race cars. She wasn't too happy about that comment, but I thought it was pretty funny.
Well, that's what I've always said about over there is it's I enjoy going over there. It's a nice track, but if you wreck one, you wreck one.
Yeah, that's just it. You know, we were really contemplating even taking her over there, but the thing is about you, she just has a lot more room to really. If she messes up, you know what I mean. She's not gonna. Well, I mean, you saw you mess up, you mess up, but like if you hit the wall or whatever, you just have a lot more room at Outlaw to kind of correct yourself and
And
kind
you
of keep
got
yourself straight.
right, and you got
So
more room
she's
to stay off of other guys.
exactly where Woodhull. You're kind of everybody is right here. You know what I mean. We're all kind of bumping and rubbing. That's the name of the game, right? Rubbing's racing. That's what they all say.
Yeah, well, go talk to some people after the race.
Yeah,
They
they don't.
didn't think
Yeah, they
that.
don't like that. Yeah, that's just it about like I don't know. Like I say, me and the old man, we talk about like being more aggressive and stuff like that. That's just it. I don't want to ever make anybody mad at the track or whatever because you know you see what happens. Stuff escalates really quick in the pits when you know I was trying to do this, but he felt I was doing. You know, I just ran through him, but you know, in reality, I just kind of accidentally got. You know, I drove in too hard, just ran him. You know, my bad. But you know, I hate that stuff. You know. I don't know. I don't know. I always tell like the old man and my stepmom and Braden, my kind of if we want to do this stuff, you know what I mean. We can go elsewhere and get boxing gloves and go be mad, fight in a ring or whatever. But when it comes to the racetrack, I don't want any of that stuff. I don't want any of that stuff, with the team or whatever, because we work really hard to kind of do all this racing stuff, and we don't want to bring down our reputation or whatever by being the ones in the pits always stirring up fights and stuff like that. So I don't know. A couple years ago, the old man, I wasn't even out of the car yet, and he was yelling at somebody, and I was like, "Listen, we're not doing this." Never since then, we've really tried to put a botch on that stuff. We stay right out of all that stuff. I don't know. We go to the racetrack to have fun and really enjoy ourselves, and that's I don't know.
Yeah.
That's really the whole reason why I started racing. To bring me and the family and everybody together. We get to spend a lot of quality time together out in the shop, building a lot of memories and stuff like that. Not to go to the track and beat people up.
Right.
You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's what I always said is that's supposed to be fun. Let's have fun. It's not,
Yeah. Yep.
you're at the end of the day, you're all gonna lose money. So let's just have
Yeah.
a little
That's
respect
just
for each other and have some fun.
exactly. And that's what the guy that I was building my car his in his shop in the wintertime, Dan Butts. That's one thing he tells me. He's like, just remember, this isn't a job. It's just
Hmm.
a hobby. You're just going out there to have fun. You're not going out there to make money or to, to do any of that stuff. Just for fun. And once you kind of get that mindset, and just I don't know, I get really in my head sometimes. I don't know if a lot of other drivers do it, but like I get to line up and I'll be in my own head. What am I gonna do? No, you know what I mean? Whatever. But at the end of the day, we're just there to have fun and
Hmm.
make a night to remember.
Right. You said you don't want to start fights in the pit area,
No.
so did you talk to your mom on Thursday night? Because I think
Yes, absolutely.
I'm glad that she had the
I
restraint
didn't.
not to get in a fight in the pits because I sat right behind them and I thought for sure your mom was gonna knock somebody out. But
So
she didn't. She didn't.
yeah,
She just
yeah. So I actually, yeah, I talked to the old man about that, and yeah, I like I say, I don't want any of that stuff being involved with us, and you know
well
what I mean.
I'm
I
just
don't
gonna
know.
say I don't blame your mom at all because well I'll be honest, it was some drunk lady and when you hit the wall she started cheering and we're all like what like all right
Yeah,
I guess
yeah.
but
I don't know. There's people like that. You know what I mean?
there is
They
absolutely
like to see the wrecks and people screw up and stuff like that. Some people that's what they go to the track for, right? The action. That's what it's about. Hey, look at that! That guy just hit the wall. Hey, I can't say when I was growing up, you know what I mean? I didn't want to see a big wreck or two because I did, but you know what I mean? It sucks. It sucks, you got people out in the crowd cheering for your tragedies, and not tragedies, but misfortune or whatever. But hey,
well
it is what it is.
I always
Haters are fans.
right I
They
always
make the
yeah
noise for you.
I always well I don't even know if this lady was happy you right I think she was just I
Just
think she was
happy.
rooting for somebody behind you but I don't know
Yeah.
I um but well Quentin, I think I've probably taken up enough of your time. Um
Hey.
if you got a couple of sponsors that you want to shout out and we can get out of here and get on with
Yeah,
your Wednesday night,
absolutely.
maybe watch some flow.
Yeah, that's on right about now. I got to kick that on. So yeah, of course, my awesome sponsors, they do absolutely a lot for me, and if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be on the track. So a couple of guys I'd like to thank is I'd really like to thank ACP, Bobby's Power Sports, uh, Rossel's Family Restaurant, Bucks Auto, Sport Out, recycling. They do a lot for us. UniFirst, and I think that's really about it. And then of course Dan Butts for letting us. I have a little sticker on my car that says Butsy's shop. So here in the next couple of years when he retires, he's gonna make like a car shop out of his shop, whatever. He's a nice huge shop with a tire machine, and he's gonna be doing like oil changes and tire rotations and tire changes and just like little small fixes and stuff like that. So I don't know if you guys ever need anything fixed up or car malfunctions, whatever. Daniel Butts, he's the guy to go to for that stuff. So yeah, that's about the guys that keep me going every week.
Yeah, and I'll tell you one thing. If you listen to this podcast and you're a fan of racing and you hear any of these drivers say somebody that you need something done and they feel like they can fit it, go to them because we need people that support race cars because it's kind of a dying breed nowadays. So if you need some of that stuff done, get a hold of Quentin. He'll send you in the right spot.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah. Hey Quentin, I appreciate you joining me tonight. I had a lot of fun. Maybe we can do it again
Hey,
sometime.
yeah. This has been a light. That time flew right by. That was a
It
quick
did.
hour. I
It
think
did.
I was like man, we didn't get much talk much about racing, but hey, it was fun.
Well, you know that's why these are the easier interviews, when I can just talk
Yeah,
to somebody and it doesn't feel like I'm asking a million questions, and those are the ones that make my job easy. So thank you for that.
good. Hey, thank you. We'll see you Friday or Saturday.
Yeah, you got it. Have a good week.
Thank you. Yep, you too.
Well, all right. Once again, I do want to give a big shout out to D&L Disposal. They should be your first call for your waste management needs. They offer regular residential garbage route in Jasper, Troopsburg, Woodhull, Addison, and the surrounding areas. Aside from that, they also offer dump trailer service rentals for your bigger needs. They'll drop it off at your location. All you have to do is load it up and they will take it away. Give them a call at 607-382-7609 to get started with D&L Disposal, the premier residential waste management service in the Woodhull area. Thank you all for listening. I appreciate it. If you're listening to the audio version, make sure that you give us a download on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Like and subscribe on them as well as YouTube, Woodhall Raceway on Facebook, and Woodhall Raceway 64 on TikTok. Um, just trying to get the TikTok stuff done. I'm not quite good at it yet, but I'm trying the best I can. So I'm still working at getting the TikTok up where it needs to be, but we're learning as we go. Once again, this next Saturday is the Christmas in July bicycle giveaway. For all you kids out there, you can go home with a bicycle. Usually we have about, I don't know, 30 of them that we give away. So hopefully we can see you all there this weekend. And then after that, that will be the big, well, I believe I'm right. Yep, that will be the Empire Super Sprints at the Woodhall Raceway. Empire Super Sprints, Sean Lyons Memorial. That's a it's a big night on July 26th. So that wraps up the month of July. So once again, I want to thank Quintin Buchanan for joining me here this evening. I want to thank you all for listening, and until next time, we will see you all later.